Hi, and welcome to the Pluto workshop. So, Pluto is the death and rebirth archetype. Pluto is the lord of the underworld, okay, where we go into the underworld. We are ushered, and we all know this underworld existence, right? That the depths of psyche, the depths of emotion, the depths of where we can go in life. And it is also the realms of loss, betrayal, abandonment. It is the death and rebirth. It is where we let go of attachments, where we have to let go of certain things in life and carry on. Okay, so it is death and rebirth. It is a very powerful archetype, and it is incredibly transformative throughout our lifetime, and particularly when we are having these particular ages and stages when we're getting hits. So there is where Pluto is in our chart is the core soul purpose and orientation and life, where we are focused so intently in life to evolve, and the gravitational pull that we go towards in life to experience ourselves, that which we are so attached to, which we know so deep and dearly, where we have so much cultivated power, and then where we are also being asked to transform and transmute any kind of residual shadow or patterns that are being perpetuated that are no longer serving, that are out, that we've outgrown, that are essentially ready for death, that are dead, that we need to let go of and to be reborn, because we do experience this as well, the evolutionary journey of existence. And so Pluto is so powerful in evolutionary astrology. We work with the methodology that includes the Pluto formula. So Pluto is the symbol of the soul in the birth chart. And if you know this, or if you do not, this is the main methodology that I work with, that just so profoundly teaches how you can see in your chart very quickly and so precisely exactly what our soul purpose that we have come in this incarnation to experience and realize, and the highest evolutionary path and creative potential that we are here to access. It is mind blowing and so accurate. I have been doing this work for over 20 years, and I have sat with thousands of clients who are essentially began as strangers, and always the accuracy of this is what it says, this is the core desire, this is the destiny calling. It's always so accurate to the person. We just know, we feel in our heart what it is, whether we clearly understand our purpose or not, like that what we call the destiny, we don't always know that, right? We're discovering. The birth chart can definitely help us orient towards what it is. But even when we don't fully know, we can feel our desires call us in certain directions, right? Life presents things to us. And so it's absolutely profound and magical. And so know your chart. And if you don't know how to read your chart yet, you can go to astro.com, register there, get your chart. I also invite you into my astrology community. It's a free community. There's already a couple hundred people. It's an amazing place to be. You can learn your chart and study with others and make friends. And I also am running a full school and certification in the evolutionary astrology method and Pluto formula. And it's a membership, and you can join me in there, and you can come into live classes with me, and I look directly at your chart. So this is the work, and it is a lot of fun. And you probably know that if you're here. Astrology is incredible. And yeah, I don't know. I think it makes life much more fun. And so let's dive in to where we are just today, entering one of the most powerful initiations in a soul's lifetime. So when Pluto comes into direct contact with the sun, that's what this workshop is about. So if you are, of the birthdays that I have listed, if you are an Aquarius or Leo or Taurus or a Scorpio at the very beginning of those birthdays, then you are having the Pluto on your sun. It is an incredibly powerful transit. So that would be happening now. And for, anyone else at any other time, this information is going to help for Pluto on the sun, either conjunct the sun, opposite the sun, or square. So whether it is by conjunction, square, opposition, this is a passage that leaves no stone unturned. Okay. No part of you remains unchanged with Pluto. It is a purging. It is an ushering into the underworld. And it's like, I don't want you to fear this, right? This is a journey where we go into what has been hidden in the unconscious, subconscious realms, and we access our power. We claim our power. We go into the underworld, and we gather the treasures that have been left behind, that have been hidden, that have been not revealed yet, right? So the sun is your light, your core identity, your sense of self, and it's how you radiate your essence into the world, your purpose-driven path. And so when Pluto arrives, the god of the underworld, takes that light down into the depths, strips it away, whatever is false, whatever is borrowed, what is no longer sustainable for the soul's growth. And so, what emerges from this process of the sun going into the underworld, your identity, your sense of self, and your sense of purpose, and how you shine in the world, what emerges is nothing less than the rebirth of self. So, the conjunction, when Pluto conjuncts the sun, which for all the early Aquariuses, it's happening right now as I make this video in October of 2025, the Pluto conjunct the sun, it's the encounter is intimate. It is raw and total. This is a death and rebirth in its purest form. It is an ultimate deconditioning, and it is the butterfly. Let's talk sweet for a minute. It is the caterpillar going into the chrysalis, returning as the butterfly. It is also the phoenix rising from out of the depths, which is where you have probably been for years, working through your soul journey. And there is very soon this phoenix rising quality that is coming. So it's like the ego cannot remain untouched with Pluto. The life you thought you were living, have been living, it's cracking open, it's broken open, and the authentic soul-centered self powerfully begins to rise from this breaking open experience. And many people at this time do face crisis, some type of loss, endings, betrayal, or events that strip us away of our former identity. So or heights of power and success. You've been working very hard in your life to get somewhere. And so, as timing goes on the timeline, it is time that you will reap the rewards of the success earned and the success gained. So, underneath it all, Pluto is forging you into someone powerful, indestructible, someone aligned with truth, someone whose power comes from within, not from outer masks, not from obligation and duty, from authentic, pure power and alignment. Okay. So we can, some of what I'm going to say is interchangeable, but I'm bringing up the different angles so you can connect a little deeper with what's going on, but you'll feel what resonates for you. So the opposition, when Pluto opposes any kind of opposition, so opposition to the sun, the transformation comes through always with oppositions. It's relationships, projections, confrontations with others. It's like the world itself stands opposite and reflects back to you like a mirror. And people may challenge you, overpower you, trigger you into deep shadow, or maybe that's what you're being revealed, how your effect on others, your power on others. Maybe there is a distorted use of power that is getting becoming overcome. Maybe the distortion of power. Maybe there is a what is the word? Yeah, just it can be corruption with power, whether out of you, outside of you, or within you that you are resolving. And the ego is learning humility. Okay, this is where the soul remembers that true power is not domination. Okay, it's true power is authenticity, integral use of power. So the invitation is to reclaim the parts of yourself that you see reflected in others. What feels like conflict or betrayal can actually be Pluto showing you what you have disowned within yourself, or where you have irresponsibly used your own power, right? So that's what that opposition and reflection can be doing. Pluto opposite the sun. And so the squares are a little bit different. The square is like what I call a breaking point or a crossroads. It's a tension that will not be ignored, cannot be ignored. And there is a choice, a very powerful choice, like the crossroads, like which way will I go, this way or that way? Will I continue the path or will I go in a completely different way, right? So yeah, this is powerful with squares to any planet, any transit. So this is where the old self and the new self, there's a clashing of past and future. Often it feels like living in two worlds. It's like really getting stronger as far as being pulled between the past and being pulled towards the future and unable to remain in the middle. And we like to hold on as humans. We like what's comfortable. We like what's familiar. And we don't love change, all the time unless we're like ready and chose it, right? So Pluto's squares really amplify this tension around the need to shift direction. And so Pluto square the sun are initiations of choice. And so, will you continue to live under the weight of old conditioning, or will you step forward into a new alignment with soul, with your power, true empowerment? And so, the pressure is immense, but the potential is pure liberation, total transformation into true empowerment. Okay. So, the evolutionary intention we understand with Pluto, it always carries the evolutionary intention of soul itself to evolve, to grow, to move forward, to become more and more aware of self, to become aware of what has previously been hidden of self. So it points to the core desires and the compulsions that shape your lifetime. Its work is to evolve the soul beyond stagnation, our need to attach and to stay stuck and to remain. And so the intention of Pluto is ultimately purification at its highest level, and to strip away false identities, ego defenses, false ego, so that the authentic self can emerge. And it takes us into deep shadow territory because we blur things, we bury things in the darkness, we push things aside, we avoid, we deny. But those things don't go away. And eventually, we need to recover the lost parts of our power that we gave away to those things, the energy it took to avoid, to deny, to hide away, to ignore, to stall. Right? There's power there that we gave away. And Pluto always wants to grant us back our power through the death rebirth process. So Pluto's medicine is not very gentle. It dismantles, it exposes, it asks you to face what you have denied, resisted, buried, put on the other side of true self, hidden away, right? But on the actual other side of this descent into the underworld is empowerment. It is the phoenix rising. It is the butterfly rebirthed. It is stronger. You are stronger and freer than before. And so that's the work that you're in now if you're in this time. And so, trust, have faith in your process, have faith in your power, that this isn't easy and this takes time. It takes time to let go. It takes time to recognize our patterns and release them. It takes time to implement new patterns. It takes time. It takes devotion. It takes consistency. Dedication to the process. So this is a journey that goes on for a few years. We build up to it and we get to the other side of it. So that is how cycles work, right? We're coming towards something, which means we're ending a certain cycle, getting ready to begin one. Now you're in the cycle and it's happening. And then we come to the other side of it where it can be like whoo, I just did that. I'm on the other side of this now. Like, what next? But then on the other side of a powerful initiation ceremony or cycle is the integration, like, foresight, like when we're on the other hindsight, rather, when we're on the other side of something, we can grasp more what that was all about, right? So depending on where you are in the cycle. So when Pluto touches the sun, the evolutionary intention is to live no longer from just personality alone, but ultimately from soul essence, from your power. It's a passage where power is reclaimed, redirected towards authentic self-expression and your specific life purpose. And so if we look at the evolutionary intention of the sun is the will to become, to actualize purpose. And it represents the journey of self-realization, the radiant core energy that learns how to shine authentically within each of us. We are all here to shine, to represent. So whatever your sun sign is, be your sun. If you are an Aquarius, if you are a Virgo, be that thing, express that. That is the archetype that you represent as the how your particular purpose carries you forward. It's like the avenue the tools that you have on the journey to your actualizing of your purpose comes through your sun sign. So be your sun, let your light shine. So the evolutionary intention of the sun is individuation, personal purpose, discover and embody the unique essence you were born to live and to offer that light to the world. We must be our sun, live your sun sign. And the sun's purpose is not to be what others want you to be, nor to hide in the shadows of fear or conditioning. Its intention is to grow into wholeness, to live in the true essence and to bring your creative life force into form, to actualize, to evolve. And so when Pluto meets the sun, the soul demands that this individuation cannot remain half-lived, that your soul cannot remain half-seen. The intention becomes intensified. So you are called to burn away borrowed identities and illusions until the radiant center of self of your being shines into the purest form. So this is what it is about. So together, Pluto and the sun, it's like they say, no more half truths, no more dimming your light. The evolutionary purpose here is radical authenticity, the marriage of soul power with conscious will. Okay. So if we are to let us take Pluto through the houses quickly, because if you know where your sun is, where this Pluto is activating your sun, then it can give you some deeper insight and understanding. So you want to know that in your chart. So get your chart and understand that. So first house is always all about identity. Who am I? So there is an identity rebirth with Pluto activating this area. Your entire sense of self and how you appear in the world is transforming. And so second house, it's all about values, resources. So that's what's being stripped away and rebuilt, the death rebirth. So you learn the true source of security and your worthiness from within. The third house is all about the mind, radical transformation of perception, voice, communication. Words carry life or death. Words are spells, right? Perception, how we see things, how we narrate the world defines everything. The fourth house, the underworld opens into the roots, the family, the home. Our ancestral patterns are being asked to die so that a new foundation can be built. And yeah, it's a deeply emotional territory. It is the emotional body. So there's a lot of heart work and deep intimacy happening in this realm. And the fifth house is all about creative power, love, can be romance, children. Transformation can be happening in these arenas. Your authentic creative fire is asking to be stoked. And there is this rebirth in that particular area of how are you creating your destiny? How are you being the creator of your world, of your story? And then what do we have? We have the sixth house. So the sixth house is work, service, body. This is undergoing the deep transformational changes going into the underworld with how are you manifesting? What is the day-to-day? What is your routine? What is your self-worth quotient? The sixth house is, do you feel worthy? Allow yourself to feel worthy. Harness all power back from any kind of self-doubt and unworthiness. It is not worth it. You are worthy. You were born worthy. Whatever the false programs or beliefs that were projected onto you, that needs to go now. Align with your worthiness and your purpose and your skills in life. This is what the rebirth is about in the sixth house. Seventh house is always about partnership, crossing the descendant. This is a very powerful initiation and transit time if it's seventh house for you. Partnerships, relationship to self, to others. It is the crucible. So through others, you are remade, you are reborn. And I went through this, and this was a life-changing. I had Pluto cross my descendant about 10 years ago now, and or I think longer than that. And yeah, I mean, the liberation, the transformation I went through around how I had related to myself my entire life, the types of relationships I attracted in, and I needed to let go of so much false ideas and lack of self-love and worthiness going on, and really rebirth myself. And as I did that over a period of years, the types of relationships in my life completely changed as I changed my relationship to myself. And yeah, eventually I fell into the healthiest and most wonderful relationship of my life. And yeah, and I live in a world of incredible relationships on many levels with many people. And Pluto went through my seventh house and now in my eighth house, which is a whole lifetime journey essentially around the transmutation and death and rebirth within relationship to myself and others. So it has been a powerful journey. And so if you're going now through into the eighth house, it is the realm of Pluto itself, shared resources, sexuality, death, intimacy, demanding truth and surrender. Power struggles purify the soul. Come into your power, harness your power, claim your birthright and your place of power in this world. And the ninth house rises us back up into the light, where we expand into a whole new world: beliefs, ideas, worldview, spirituality, vision, the dream, the higher education. All of this starts to get dismantled because it's Pluto. And so the rebirth comes through this very territory. So you're reborn into a truer philosophy of life, and you reclaim your power as far as how you're connecting to truth and your, like, what your truth is in the world, and the meaning of your life. So it's really, yeah, it's significant. I mean, it's always powerful wherever Pluto is. So, and then after the ninth, we go to the 10th, crossing the midheaven, public role, social role, sovereignty, agency, authenticity, authority. This is a powerful place to be. Opposite fourth house, all about emotional intelligence and just up leveling your sense of personal, that you are the leader of your life. And yeah, so any false constructs around that is what is dying away and being reborn. So that's the transformation. Your destiny is rewritten in alignment with your leadership from soul, a soul-led life, so that you feel authentic, you feel in integrity. People can look up to you, and people do. They follow you because of your devotion, because of your experience, because of your commitment and leadership. That is essentially the goal. And then 10th house, actualizing creative self-expression on the highest levels of confidence, that you can stand true no matter what anyone thinks of you, that you will be true to yourself. So this is also involves the territory of friendships, communities. Visions for the future are challenged and remade. Your communities are challenged and remade. Your groups, your tribe, the falling away of how you've associated yourself as far as your creative expression, how you've expressed yourself. And so old circles shift, new ones are created. And as you, the whole soul intention with the 11th house is to come, it's rebellion, it's breaking free from the past, it's becoming more and more true and authentic to who you actually are. And that is where your power is at with the 11th house. And then the 12th house is the ultimate surrender, the deepest surrender. The ego dissolves into the ocean of the unconscious, the oneness, the unity, the God zone, the universe. Mysticisms, endings, hidden realms pull you into spiritual rebirth. It is an ultimate tapping into the infinite potential and possibility of existence. So you want to be very careful not to fall into the despair and addiction and avoidance, and reach for that anything and everything is possible, that you are an infinite creative being and you can create the life you want. We all can rise from the depths of everything, sorrow and the underworld experiences, into ultimate self-empowerment. And that is the journey. And so, yeah, I'm just going to lead us on a little, just a brief visualization to help anchor into this a little bit. So if you want to take a deep breath and just let all this settle, drop into your body, and just feel and listen. Pluto on the sun is not just an astrological event. It is a true rite of passage. So it is a moment where the soul insists on truth, power, and rebirth. And so I invite you now to reflect just what identities are falling away for you. Where are you being asked to reclaim your light and to shine? What truth inside of you can no longer be denied? What must you claim? So just imagine for a moment, if you want to close your eyes and just breathe, be in your body and be present, and just imagine yourself standing between two fires. Behind you is the fire of the old life burns away, the roles, the stories, the masks, the expectations that no longer belong to you. And ahead of you is the fire of your soul's essence, burning bright, your destiny, who you have always been, who you are meant to be, evolving into your life story, your divine soul calling you forward. So feel yourself Feel the past behind you. We can give thanks, have gratitude, always appreciation for what has been and what was, and feel yourself step across a threshold, separating yourself more from the past, leaving behind what is fading away, what is essentially no longer necessary, what is potentially gone, and walking towards closer to what is alive, what is burning bright before you, in front of you, in your future. And so I invite you, open your eyes if you'd like, and journal further if you'd like, writing things down about affirming who you are becoming, and just, let it be simple, clear, and alive that this is your vow to your own self, to your own sun power and purpose. So Pluto will continue to strip and to burn and to reveal, but your task is to keep returning to the vow that lives within your heart, and this purpose calling you forward to live it, to breathe it, and to shine it into the world. So this is the work. This is your work. This is the gift. And this is essentially the rebirth. So much love on your journey. Thank you for tuning in and listening to me. Connect with me further if you'd like. Let me know where you're at in this journey, in this transit, and this initiation. And take care. Aloha.